Hello team and welcome back to the channel. So today is day 16 of our 30 days of DevOps and we will be starting with IAC, which is infrastructure as code. Okay, so from today basically we will start with Terraform and then we will move on to Ansible. Okay, let's discuss about what exactly is IAC. Okay, so when we speak about IAC, the first thing that comes to mind is the full form, which is infrastructure as code. Okay, and the whole definition of IAC lies inside these three words, infrastructure as code. When we say about like IAC, that means like a way to manage infrastructure, okay, in the format of code. Okay, so when I say the word manage, that means that we can perform any kind of modifications, provisioning, updates, or any other kind of changes with the application using infrastructure as a code. Okay, so basically in this field, like there are two of the most widely used tools that acts as an infrastructure as code basis. So those two are Ansible and Terraform. Okay, so the difference between Ansible and Terraform comes on the basis of usage, because me as well as other several like DevOps engineers, they prefer to use Ansible for performing modifications, updates, or like deployment of applications. Okay, whereas when we talk about Terraform, so Terraform we prefer to use for provisioning or like making changes in the infrastructure. Okay, but like you understand the difference, right? Terraform is mainly used for provisioning a resource or any infrastructure. Okay, but when we want to make changes, maybe we want to update, install tools, deploy applications, in that case we should go for Ansible. Okay, even like using Terraform we could install tools, but the preferred tool for doing those kind of things is Ansible. Whereas when you want to provision new resources or delete old resources, you can go with Terraform. Okay, now coming to Terraform, like what exactly it is and how we can use it. Okay, so first of all, like yesterday I was reading about Terraform, the initial phase of Terraform. So it was, I think, in 2014 the first commit of Terraform was done on its like the official repository. Okay, and how exactly does Terraform works? Okay, so in that case, see, let me tell you, like it's very simple. Like even the code of Terraform is quite simple. You need to understand the format in which it is written. Okay, and then you can use it. Okay, so how does Terraform work? So basically, like we provide the information that these are the kind of changes we want to make, and when we execute it, what Terraform exactly does is it will match the current status or the current status with the desired status. When I say desired status, that means whatever we have mentioned in our script file. Okay, so it will match it, and if the resources are not present, and it will compare and it will create those resources. Okay, so that is basically how it works. It will compare the current status to final status or the desired status, and whichever resources are not present, it will create. Okay, so then there is the life cycle of Terraform. Okay, so when we talk about life cycle, it's like pretty normal. It's like first we will run a Terraform init, which is to initialize the required files. Okay, then we will run Terraform plan. Plan is basically, it gives you an overview of what kind of resources and how many resources will be getting created. Okay, so like it will just give you what are the changes that are going to happen after you execute the Terraform script. Okay, then we have Terraform apply. Okay, apply, or you can, like before applying, you can run validate. So Terraform validate, what it does, it will just validate that everything is fine, your code is fine, and everything is going to run like okay. Then we have Terraform apply. So from the name itself, it is very clear that Terraform apply means whatever changes we have mentioned in our script, it will be getting applied, okay, on the server or wherever like we are going to use it. Okay, then we have Terraform destroy. So Terraform, as the name says, Terraform destroy, it is going to remove or delete the resources whichever we define. Okay, so that's pretty much the life cycle of Terraform. Like you can initialize the Terraform files, then you can plan or like validate the changes, and then you can apply the changes using Terraform apply, and finally you can destroy the changes if you want, depending on the requirement. Okay, so this is like basically the basic life cycle, you can say, for Terraform. Okay, then coming to what are the different files that we have to use for writing our scripts. So most common files are like so first of all, the format of the extension of Terraform files will be .tf. Obviously it stands for Terraform, I guess. Okay, so main file we have like main.tf, which contains the actual script, like of the changes whatever we are going to make, whatever resources we are going to create. So those things we'll mention in main.tf. Okay, then we have another important file, which is variables.tf. So there are certain things which we want to use multiple places, so we can just define them as variables and we can just call them in other files. Okay, so variables will be defining inside variable.tf files. Okay, and we will call them using var dot. Okay, we will call them using var in our other files. Like for example, like I have defined a variable in a variable.tf. I want to call it in main.tf, so I can just write var dot the variable name. Okay. Okay, so next we have tf vars files. So they are also like similar to variables.tf, but they are more systematic way. Okay, for example, if I want to use if I want to store the keys of accessing the AWS, so those things I can mention in tf.vars, which I will show you in a minute. Okay, then other than that, we have a tf state file which stores the status of the changes, current status or the previous status, I guess, that we will check. Okay, so it stores the status, like what exactly is being there, what exactly are changes done. Okay, so those things it will store. Okay, so these things, everything I will show you, so you just need to follow the video. That's all you need to do, and make sure, like, see, basically this video is going to be a two-parter. So today I will show you basic way of like how you can provision a simple easy to instance a VM. Okay, Linux VM we will procure provision basically. Okay, and tomorrow I will show you more features of Terraform which we could use. Okay, also, like when you are going to interview, so what you can mention, you can simply mention directly, I have provisioned these kind of resources with Terraform. Okay, and that will be enough, and you need to just explain okay, these were the ways in which I provision the resource. Okay. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started. Okay team, so before starting the video, I would request you to check out this specific video, daily activities of DevOps engineer. So this will be really helpful for you if you want to know more about like what are the daily day-to-day tasks of a DevOps engineer. Okay. Okay, also if you are new on the channel, make sure to subscribe, it helps me a lot. Okay. Okay, so coming back to AWS, because we are going to create the resource in AWS. Okay. Okay, so first task is that we need to install Terraform on a VM from where we will be running the script. Okay, so for that, what I'm going to do is create an instance. So I will click on launch instance. Let's provide a name as server. Okay, and I'm going to use Ubuntu machine, and I want to use 20.04, and instance type will be I'll be using a medium. Okay, and key pair already I have on machine which I have created. In case you don't have, you can just create a new pair. Okay, also in Terraform, one thing that you need to make sure that you understand is that like resources should be region specific. So whatever things you are creating, it should be in a specific region. Okay. Okay, so now scrolling down to here to select security group, and this I want as 15 GB. Click on launch instance. Okay. Okay, so VM is created and we can get the IP address of the VM from here. Let's copy that as well. Go here, and using MovaX term, I will access the VM. Okay, so I have already created a session. I will just edit it and replace the IP address. Okay, rest everything is already configured, the username and the key, private key. Okay. Okay, so now we can double click on it to access the VM. Let's see if it is okay. Still not started. If I go here, refresh the page once. Okay, and let's try to access it again. Yeah, you can see now it is up and running. I will clear the screen, become root user. Okay. Okay, so first thing we need to do is install the Terraform, right? So we have the commands for that. We need to add the repository for Terraform, and then we can install it. Okay, so first command I will run this, and then we will run the add repository command. Okay. Yeah. Okay, and final command would be to run the installation. Okay, so I will just copy this. Sorry about the background noise. Okay, so let it run, and once it completes, we can run the final command. Okay. Okay, it is running. Also, like we are installing specific version which is 1.5.1. Okay, just to confirm that Terraform has installed successfully, we can run the command as terraform -v, click enter, and you can see we have installed 1.5.1, right? Okay, so this is done. Next, what we want to do is create these scripts. Okay, so for that, first of all, what I will do, I will create a specific folder with the name as Aditya. Okay, inside this folder we will be having our all the scripts. Okay, so as of now, like, let's create 3 scripts. Okay, so we will create first of all I will use the command as touch main.tf, which will contain the actual main resources details which we are going to create. Okay, after that we will be having variables.tf. okay, and finally we will be having terraform.tf vars. okay, so one thing that you need to note down, that see, this is also the file that will contain the variable, and this is also the file that will contain variables. Okay, now what exactly is the difference between them is that Terraform by default will search for this file. Okay, so this will contain the main variables which are going to be used, and this variable file will be containing the variables that we define for our main.tf file. Okay, so now one by one we need to edit. Okay, so first let's edit main.tf file. Okay, and don't worry, I will share you these all the scripts whatever I am using, so you can also use them. Okay, so I will run the command vi main.tf, and here we can edit it. Okay, so I have created this, and let me just okay, so first let's go through the file. First we have the main thing, which is provider. So in provider, you can say in double quotes I have written AWS. That means the provider we are going to use is AWS, which is like we are going to create resources, and we are going to do any kind of changes, modification and updates on AWS. Okay, so we will do also side by side. If you look closely, you can see access key plus secret key plus a region. Okay, that means access key and secret key, these two will be used for providing the access to your AWS account. Okay, and region is the specific region inside which we will be creating all the resources. Okay, so first let me copy this and paste it here. Okay, pasted here. Okay, so next what we have, like see, all the script, as I mentioned, it will be available to you. You can just like modify it as per you. Okay, coming next, so next we have resource, then the resource type, and the name of the resource which we want to create. Okay, this you need to understand very clearly. Like this is the inside main.tf we have resource. This is like a way of telling we are way of defining things. Okay, so what we are defining here, we are defining a resource, and what kind of resource type is AWS instance, and what will be the resource name. So I have defined EC2 instance. Okay, inside, see, this like here we defined the resource. So inside this curly brackets, what we will be having, we will be having the properties. Okay, like properties of the resource that we are going to create. What, like how many resources we will be creating, what will be the subnet ID, what will be the instance type. Okay, so those kind of information or properties we will be having. Okay, so this is also like very clear, like in AWS what are the like properties are there. First we need to define AMI, like what kind of resource, like Ubuntu machine, Windows machine, what kind of machine we will be having. Here if you look closely, we are defined it in form of variable. Dollar, you already know it is for like variable. Okay, and inside it we are, how we are accessing the file, we are typing var.ami id. Okay, and see, this where we would be defining it, so we would be defining it inside the variables.tf file. Okay, so let me copy this. See, these things will be more clear once you like execute it on your own machine. Okay, so let's see if we could do anything changes. Okay, so everything fine. Okay, so we will save this file, escape w:/wq. Okay, so one file we have saved. Now we will edit the second file, which is variables.tf. Okay, now again coming back here, in variables.tf file we have defined variables, whichever variables we are going to use we have defined. For example, if you see here, access key. Okay, so access key we are also using here, but in variables, if you see closely, we have not provided the value of the access key. Okay, because like the access key and secret key, they are like very important things, so we have defined it inside terraform.tf vars, because as I mentioned, Terraform will look for the variables in the first file, which is terraform.tf vars. Okay, Similarly, again we have this instance variable with instance type. So here also, if you see here, instance type we have defined. How we are accessing it? Var dot instance type. Okay, and we have given a default name. Where is it? Yeah, default value we have given, which is T2 micro. So let's say we want to create a micro. Okay. Similarly, other things are also there. The default values we have provided. Okay. So let me just copy this. Okay. One more thing I will just explain you. Let me paste it first. Okay. See the format. See, as I said, like Terraform scripts are all about format, how you need to write. And you can see in main.tf how we wrote main.tf. See, like this will be just one, but in case you are creating multiple resources, you will write in the same format. Like first you will write resource, then what kind of resource you want to create. For example, you want to create a subnet ID, you will write AWS underscore subnet underscore ID, something like that. Okay. And then you need to provide a name which you can choose, whichever you want. Okay. And inside it, the properties. Okay. In case you are not aware like what kind of properties we need to mention, you can just check with like Terraform official page. They have all the template based files which you can use. Okay. This also, like, see, I just like took a template from official page, and from there I'm just editing it as per my requirement. This is what happens actually. See, nobody is going to write everything from scratch. If template is available, then you can take it, you can modify it as per your requirement. But even for modifying, you need to understand how it is written, right? So I understand the main thing. I understand, okay, when we want to create a resource, we will write resource, type of resource, and name of resource. Okay, and inside the brackets we will be having the properties. Okay. Similarly, for variable files, we have variable. What kind of like what we are defining here? So we have defining here variable. Here we have defined resource. Here we define variable. Okay. For example, instance type. Okay. So I defined a variable which is instance type. Instance type is a variable whose default value is T2 micro. You see how easy it is. It's not so hard. Defining variables is very easy, right? Okay. So I think we have, yeah, pasted. Okay. So one more thing that I wanted to tell you is key pair. Okay. So you know, like when I access a machine, how do I access it? I access it using a private key, right? So here, if you see a variable, I have defined AMI key pair name, a name I have given Aditya. Okay. Now the problem is that it's not you can give any name you want. Okay. Here you need to be careful, and what you need to be careful with is, if I go here, go back to like AWS machine. Okay. Here, in whichever region you are, and in whichever region you are creating all the resources, in the same region you need to create a key. Okay, you can click on key pairs, click on here, create new key pair, and yeah, PEM format you can create. Okay, simple. So I have already created Aditya, you can see, and it is in the same region as this one, Mumbai. Okay, that is why it will be available for use. Okay, in case you have not created, or if you are providing a different name here, your Terraform will fail. Just to show you what I am going to do, I will change just the letter. Okay, I just change the letter. Okay, now coming to these two values. Okay, AMI and subnet ID, from where we are going to get. Okay, instance type, see, you can like define whichever you want to use. For example, I will go with T2 micro. If you want, you can go with T2 medium, T2 large, something like that. Okay, but two things matters is subnet ID and the AMI, right? So what I'm going to do, how to find that? So we can go to AWS homepage. Okay, and first of all we will go to VPC. So inside VPC, where it is, yeah, inside VPC I have already one VPC. Okay, and here if you see here subnets, so you can like take any one subnet whichever you want. So I just went with this one. I just copy this and I have pasted it here. Okay, so this subnet defined. Now if you like, we want to provide the details of AMI ID. Okay, so for that, what we are going to do, again we will go to services, then EC2. Okay, and here we will go to launch instance and see browse more AMIs. Okay, if I click here, let's say I want to use Ubuntu machine, right? where it is, yes, so Ubuntu machine. So here you can see the details, AMI, right? This is for 20.04, 22.04. If I search for yeah, 20.04. okay, so here the AMI is this one for this format, okay, and I have this one for different one, 64-bit ARM, okay. And what we can define here is AMI 43 is for 64-bit, okay. So I have defined that as well here, right? Those details you can, these two details you can fetch it from your AWS account, okay. Now coming to most important thing, which is access key and secret key, right? So here in variables.tf file I have not provided those details, okay. So I have just like gave a description key what exactly it will be, okay. Now let me save this and let's provide the details of access key and secret key, okay. Now the thing is ki access key and secret key, what they are exactly going to be used for. So see, we are running the commands through a console, okay, inside Linux. So we need to give a certain a profile or certain user in AWS an access level using which it can create resources through AWS console, okay. So for that what we are going to do is, first of all we need to find those access key and secret key, okay. So for that again we will go to services, go to IAM where the users are existing, okay. Okay, so one of my users, which is this one, so it has like complete access, okay. So I want the secret key and access key from it, okay. So I will go to security credentials, okay. Okay team, so basically what was the issue, since I have already created like access key, so it was not giving an option to create, okay. You can see one option is there, okay. So we'll click on create access key, okay. Now here you need to select the use case, okay. So what exactly we are going to use, we are going to use the AWS access keys and secret key to run the commands from CLI, right? So we'll select this, click on I understand, click on next, okay. So tag I don't want, okay. So you can see these are the access keys, okay, which we need to copy and paste, okay. So first I will copy the access key and open the Terraform TF files, okay. So here you can see as of now it's empty. So what we are going to do, we will scroll down and we need to add these things, okay. So I will replace the access keys with the ones that I have just generated. We'll copy the secret key as well and let's paste it here, okay. Okay, so now it's have pasted, so we will just copy the whole thing and paste it inside our files, okay. As of now like all the three files have been edited and completed, okay. So now we will run the command as terraform init, which will initialize the required like dependencies or whatever is required for like creating the resources, it will do, okay. You can see Terraform has been successfully initialized, okay. If I run ls command, okay, still only three files are there, okay. So next what we are going to do is run Terraform plan. So Terraform plan will show us like what are the changes that are going to happen, okay. That means what are the files that are going to be created and all, okay. Yeah, you can see here it is written Terraform will perform the following actions, okay. Okay, you can like all the details that we have provided in our script, that is also mentioned, okay. Okay, now what are I'm going to do, I will clear the screen and run Terraform apply, but it should fail because the key, the access key, the key pair value that we have like shared, it is not the correct one, right? Because I made the Aditya name to small letter a, okay. See here it is asking for a prompt, key provide value as, then only it will proceed, and let's see, okay. See the error it is giving, creating is invalid key pair not found, right? But on my machine I have a key pair. If I go scroll down, see where it is, aditya.pem, okay. That means we need to provide the correct name. Okay, so we need to edit it. So we will go to vi variables.tf. okay, scroll down, press I for insert, and here we will change this. Okay, let's just save it. Sorry about that. Yeah, so again we will run the Terraform apply. Again it should ask a prompt, yes, and click enter, and let's see now. You can see it is like showing AWS instance.ec2 instance is getting created, and whatever time is getting elapsed, it will show that as well. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So you can see here apply complete resources 1 added. Okay. Now let me clear the screen, run ls command. And here if you look closely, there are 2 files extra created. One is terraform tfstate.backup, which will store the previous status, and one is terraform.tfstate, which will store the current status. Okay, so let's try to see what are the files inside it, and then we will try to access our new VM that is created. Okay, tfstate. We will run the cat command, enter. Okay, so whatever details we provided, whatever things have been created, everything will be here. You can see key name Aditya, instance type, instance state, everything detail about whatever this resources we have created will be here inside the Terraform tfstate file. Okay, and I was always curious what exactly is inside the Terraform tfstate backup, so I just want to check that as well. Okay, so I guess Terraform tfstate backup stores the previous status. Okay, like as of you can see, everything is like, it's like null. That means we did not have any specific resources created. Okay, but in Terraform tfstate we have the current status stored. Whatever resources we created, status of those resources, like if they are running, what are their instance type, those things, those kind of things are there. Okay, so these are the most important things that you should know about Terraform. We will continue this series tomorrow also, but for now let's try to check the VM inside AWS. Okay, so we'll go to services, go to EC2. Okay. Okay, it is taking time. Let me, yeah, it is open now. So we will go to instance running and see this t2.micro. Okay, so this is the instance that we have created, and to access the instance, what we can do, copy the IP address first of all, go to MobaXterm session